Hey, we're back with another graphic design video, and today we're going to be making a starting soon screen and an intermission screen, also known as just chatting scene. We're going to be using easily accessible and completely free tools in order to create those, and of course whatever we make, I'm going to make it available to you for free, easily customizable, and I'm going to show you how. The goal here, as usual, is to teach you about graphic design, showing you how easy it is to put things together quickly. Then you can create stuff for yourself, but also for other people. You can make money with this, even put it on your resume. Now, it doesn't matter which platform you're streaming on, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Your starting soon screen and your intermission screen is universal. I know you're excited to start, but what I want you to do right now is click the like button, subscribe, and listen to this message from our sponsor. And maybe you know that Owned is your one-stop shop for everything you can customize as a Twitch streamer or YouTube streamer or even just a YouTuber. Owned has the biggest library for everything ever. Overlay packs, emotes, animated emotes, but they also allow you to create your own stuff. If you want to make emotes, you want to make badges, avatars, even gaming logos, but there's a brand new thing that they just came out with, which is the animated emote maker. And let me show you. You go here, you click on make your own animation. You can use emotes that you already have on Twitch. You can upload emotes from your computer. You can also transfer some emotes that you already created using Owned. I'll use my Twitch emotes. I have to connect with Twitch, authorize. Now all my emotes from my Twitch channel will appear on the left here, and I can just pick which emote I want. Then from there, I'll see all the animations that are available. For example, this one, I can click, and when I hover, it will show me the animations. This one's like fire. I guess that's a thumbs up. That's party time. We'll get a bonk. That's a resident sleeper. Oh, that one would be cool for like big donations. We get an RIP. We're getting buried. Anyways, I'm gonna let you check the rest out over at own.gg/getlevel. That's my special little link. Also, Owned is always getting like cool promos and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that top bar. Right now, you can get 50% with the code streaming on all products. So that's own3d.gg/getlevel. All right, step one is to go to photopea.com or Photopea, which is the real name, but I like pronouncing it Photopea. This is basically Photoshop, but for free. I know you guys love using stuff like Canva, but this is professional stuff. This gives you all of the freedom ever, and you best learn this. Putting that you know how to use Canva on your resume is not impressive. Knowing how to use Photopea, aka Photoshop, is an actual marketable skill. Anyways, now that the Canva users are mad, let's begin. You need to know the size of your project. Here we're gonna do a standard screen. It's gonna be 1080p, so 1920 by 1080. That's top left here, and then DPI we're gonna put 300 so we have high quality. Click create. You could have changed the background color, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna click on the background layer. I'm gonna press Ctrl I to invert. I should probably put my auto key on. There you go. So Ctrl I to invert colors. And now we can cheat. We're gonna go to a website like Pix here. Basically every image in here is free to use, so just choose something that you like. Let's go kind of edgy. Let's go with wolf. And I'd love to have something that is frontal. Okay, I like this one. I'm gonna click on it. Now you can download it in multiple formats, but I'm just gonna right click on it and press copy image. Go back to Photopea and Control V because we just copied, so this is paste. You're gonna press Control Alt T to transform. And this is where we're gonna scale it up basically. And I'm gonna try to fill the image with it. I'm actually gonna press Control minus to zoom out. And I want this to be roughly in the middle. If you don't see the rulers up top, you can press Control R. Make them appear, and you can right click on them to put them in percent to make sure that you know where 50% is basically. Nice, that's cool. Now we can think about the colors that we want. Usually you're doing this because you already have your branding set up. You should. I'm probably gonna go with something like blue, maybe a little bit of yellow. We'll see. At the bottom of your layers list, this is where you have a bunch of options. You can delete the layer, you can create a new layer, group the layers in a folder, create a mask based on a selection. And then you have adjustment layers and effects. Those are two things we're gonna use a lot. So a new adjustment layer is like if you wanna add an effect to a layer, but you don't want it to be destructive, right? For example, I want a photo filter. I want this to be mostly blue. I can go here, click on the color, kind of blue like this. Click OK. Okay. I can not preserve the luminosity and see how that goes. Play around with it until you're satisfied, basically. No bad jokes. All right, I like that. And now I'm just gonna show you where I want to place certain things. For example, I know my text is going to be on top of the eyes. So it's gonna be like starting soon, right? Underneath here, I'm going to have social media, probably. And then a little bit down here, I'm going to have the labels bar. So recent follower, recent subscriber, recent donator. You have the option to put the chat on the right side if you want, or to the left, it doesn't matter. But it's not going to be balanced if everything is centered. So let's do this. We can start by adding our text. Click on the T, click once, type your text. select it, and then click on the word size and drag up. If you want to change the size, you can also go with this slider if you want to. Now you can place it up top. You're going to see a colored box. Click on it, go with white. It's the most contrasting color. And here you pick your font. We're probably going to go with something sharp. We're doing some edgy dude bro playing Call of Duty thing. So let's go with sharp corners. All right, not that sharp, but kind of futuristic with sharp corners. At least we're going to go with a font called Audio Wide. Boom, we're going to place that, and I'm probably going to make it way smaller. One tip for graphic design, here you can have the paragraph thing where you can put it in the center. There you go. So now if you type anything, it's going to type from the center. This is going to be helpful, especially if you just want to change the stuff to say be right back or a stream ending. That's how easy it's going to be. Okay, place it where you feel like it's in the middle. Nice. We're going to click the move tool. Click once and then go back to the text tool. And here we're going to type whatever social media we know that we're going to need. I'm going to put something like, well, I shouldn't put anything. I'm just going to put your name a couple of times. Here, if I wanted to, I could just put a bunch of space and put it again, like with the same amount of space. Actually, I'm going to do exactly that just to make sure that we have the exact space. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Nice. Select all. Click the word size, drag it down. I actually like the white background. We might change that a little bit. Okay, not too bad. Problem here is that we're not going to have enough space for the icons in the middle here. So I'm going to add more space bars. Space bars. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. We actually don't need the space at the end. All right, now let's create the labels bar. I'm going to click on the rectangle tool here, and I'm actually going to make it rounded rectangle. I'm just going to have 10 pixels. So top right, you're going to see corner radius. And that is if you want a rounded rectangle and how round you want it to be. Like this. What does that look like? Okay, not bad. I actually like it. It's going to be small like this. I'm going to press space bar while I'm creating it so I can move it around and create it from another spot. I'm going to keep it like that. Since I'm on a shape creation tool, I'm going to have some extra options up there. And what I'm going to do is add a stroke. Click on the fill type, which is going to be solid or color. I'm going to click on white. Okay, now we don't see much. Let me go back to the thing. 1 pixel. It's basically the stroke around it, right? You see it? Okay, let's lower that. 1 was enough. Let's click on the move tool. Every time I want to go back, click on the move tool and click away on another layer to see how it affects it. Okay, that's not bad. Another thing that I'm going to do is click that layer, shape 1. That's basically a label. You can double click on the name to change the name. Maybe label. And then we're going to see opacity, and I'm going to lower the opacity. Nice. I think that looks decent. With the move tool selected, I'm going to hold Alt, click and drag. And while I'm clicking and dragging, you see it going everywhere. I'm going to hold Shift. So now it's going to hold this angle, right? I go up and down, it doesn't move. And I'm going to place it here. It's telling me that this is the middle, but it doesn't matter. We're going to place it differently later. Place that here. Do the same thing. Hold Alt first, click. And as you start to drag, you can hold Shift so it stays on the same line. And you're going to try to approximate the same distance. There's a way to measuring it, but I'm not showing you how to do precision stuff. This is not industrial design. Here, I click once, I hold Shift, and then I click the top one to select all of them. Those are the 3 labels. As you can see, label, copy 2. And now I'm going to hold Shift again. Shift is basically, hey, while you're moving stuff, keep it on one axis, right? And now it's telling me, hey, right here is in the middle. Boom. Now it's in the middle. All right. What's missing? We need some icons for our social media, and we need some icons for our labels bar. We're not going to make it say new follower or whatever. We could probably top left here, but I want just icons. Keep it simple. The simpler it is, the prettier. Now I happen to be doing this every week, so I have a bunch of icons saved. What you can do is go to Google Images, find some PNG ones. Even non-PNG ones will work if you know what you're doing, and get you some icons. Like right here, I have a bunch of them. I probably have better ones colored. And you want to put the most important ones for you. For example, I'm doing this for Twitch. I'm not going to put the Twitch icon. It's useless. I'm going to put my Twitter. I'm going to put my YouTube. And I'm going to put my Instagram. Actually, I'm going to put my TikTok. Because my TikTok is more important than my Instagram now. All right. Drag, drop. Press enter. and you're good. Now remember how to transform. Control Alt T, Control Alt T. I selected TikTok here. I'm gonna bring TikTok down to be kind of like roughly the same size. And then I'm gonna group select them and group transform them. Yeah, let's say that that's right. Press enter. Select them again, holding shift, click on the top one, Control Alt T to transform. I'm gonna drag that down. You can also hold Alt here when you're dragging down from transform tool is from the middle, basically. As you can see, it's dragging from the center. If I let go, it's dragging from the corner that I picked. I like dragging from the center, it's faster. And I'm gonna bring this down a lot, actually. I don't want those icons to be big at all. All right, now you can individually pick one. I would say for me, for example, my YouTube is very important. My Twitter comes second, and then my TikTok is here. I'm actually gonna create a mask for the TikTok because the bottom says TikTok and I don't want that. So I'm gonna click on the mask tool or press M on your keyboard. And I'm gonna select TikTok without selecting the text underneath. Nice. Remember when we checked out the things underneath the layer list? Right there, there's add raster mask. Boom, it's gonna delete whatever is, well, it's not gonna delete it. It's right there. We created that mask. Anyways, TikTok is a little huge. Okay, you see I press Control T instead of Control Alt T. This is what happens. This is what happens. You don't want that to happen. That is catastrophic. I'm joking. It's just that in Photoshop, that's the only difference between Photoshop and Photopea. It's instead of Control T, it's Control Alt T because Chrome makes you create a new tab. Boom. All right. Now we want some icons for follow. Usually heart is follow. The bits is just bits. And a star is going to be subscribe. So heart. If you go to shape and you click and hold, you go to custom shape. You can even find some shapes. Top right here. Boom. And I can type something like heart. Click once and then I can click and drag. Here is going to stretch it out. I'm going to hold shift to be like, hey, maintain the proportions. Bruv. Drag here. Move tool. Click. Drag. Another way to access the color, for example, right now there's a fill and stuff. First of all, I'm going to drag this up to make sure it's on top. Double click on the icon next to the layer. Bring this up. You can give it color if you want to. I'm just going to keep it white and blue, right? I don't think they have bits, so I'm going to go find something that I saved right there. Cool. Drag this down with decent size. Control plus to zoom in. Hold middle mouse button to also move the screen like this, or hold spacebar. Nice. Place it right. Holding Alt. Drag from the middle and enter. Okay. Last one. What did we say? Star. Try to keep the distance in between the more distance here. Let things breathe to make them look cleaner. Go back to the shape tool. Go back to shape and we want a star. I told you I'm a star. You see the eyes? Sorry. Okay. Click, drag, hold shift to maintain proportion. And we get a perfect star. Just like you. Wow. Now, the diamond shape is not white. What we can do is click on it in the layers list. Go back to effects, go down to effects, and click on color overlay. It's just going to fill whatever it is with a certain color. Right now, it's set to black for some reason. You can click on the color box, set to white. Boom. Okay. Okay. There you go. Nice. Now, one might say, hey, this is over. You wouldn't be that far. You wouldn't be too wrong, really. But we can add more decoration to make it look a little bit better. Let's go back to pics here and let's type something like lens flare. And here we're mostly looking for something that has a black background, but that we can just overlay on top of our image right there. Again, if you're doing this for yourself, download the full size. I'm just going to go copy image. And then while I have this selected, basically, I select the layer because whatever I'm going to add, it's going to add it on top of it. I want this all the way to the top. Control V, Control Alt T, sorry. Drag this until it's big enough for me to be able to move around a little bit, have some freedom. I'm even going to hover around the corners and rotate it. Press enter. And now I'm going to go to, this is the blending modes. Up top here where it says normal, you can click. And we're going to go find something like add, lighten, screen, dodge. Those are everything that is basically going to lighten your image. So it's not going to take it into account. So it's not going to take into account any part that is dark from your image. And it's going to look like this, for example. It's like it was transparent, right? And I think that looks pretty cool. I might even rotate it a little bit more. Control T. Okay, not bad, not bad. Control minus to zoom out. I want to do something cool. I want to select the bottom half and I want it to be darker and potentially even have the image be blurry underneath it, right? So I'm going to go to my select tool. Remember that? I'm going to click and hold until I find ellipse tool, ellipse select. And I'm going to try to match basically roughly this thing, the curvature, if you will, the curvature that people are denying. Anyways, I'm holding space bar in order to move it around and I'm going to place it right there. Nice. Okay. From there, while I have my layer selected, the wolf that is, I'm going to press Control J. What that does is that it creates a new layer with the part of the wolf that was selected, right? So if I turn that off, I'm going to have the bottom part only. And what I can do now is I can add a filter. Let's go to blur. I'm going to go Gaussian. I would probably go for lens blur, but I'm doing a tutorial and you can blur it as much as you want. Okay, that's nice. And also there's multiple ways that I could play with the brightness. Right now I'm going to press Control M and it's going to bring me some curves. And I can drag the middle. Basically curves is going to be, bottom is going to be the shadows, top is going to be the highlight. And then I'm basically moving all the middle values towards something darker, right? Okay. And what I can do with the wolf that is underneath here, or even just the photo filter, I can double click on the icon and I can give it a brighter color, just so it's a little bit more visible, mostly because my thumbnail will look better. There you go, just slightly. And I think that looks okay. I'm going to select the starting soon text and I'm going to see if I can add a little bit of spice to it, right? While it's selected, I'm going to go to effects and I'm going to go to blending options. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to background and we're going to grab this handle and we're going to bring it in just a little bit, just to see that effect. I don't know if you like it or not. I kind of like it. I think it's pretty cool. The problem is that the G is not that visible. So maybe dial it back a little bit, just like that. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to add a drop shadow to it. I'm going to click on the little thing here that says drop shadow, and I'm going to just add it. With the angle, I'm going to try to be careful to make it kind of match the lighting that we already have. I think that's not bad. Actually lower this a little bit. And why not go for a gradient overlay? The thing with doing graphic design like that is that it's really hard to not put too much and make it look like a Microsoft Word art. So let me go here and I'm actually going to put this like that. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to put a little bit of blue, right? Just to match what we have here. And I'm going to set the blending mode of the gradient overlay. So whatever is like from dark to that blue, we can make it add to what we already have, which was white, to be fair. And I'm going to go with linear burn and I'm going to lower the opacity just a little bit. I might even change the black color to match the blue or just color pick it directly. But that would make more sense. It would blend in a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Now there's a ton of other things that you can do to decorate a little bit more. I tend to not want to do too much because we're doing a video, but on top of the photo filter, I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to pick my brush tool by pressing B or just going here. I'm going to right click to make that brush really big, but the hardness really low. So we have a very soft brush like that. And I'm just going to go select dark color here. And I'm just going to create some sort of a vignette. You're going to see it in the top corner here. Just so we get more emphasis on the middle. We want people to be looking at what's going on in the middle of the screen and not necessarily a bunch of detail on the corners, right? Now it's more focused, no forwards. Anyways, let me turn that off. Boom, boom. There you go. All right, for the intermission screen, we're just going to reuse all the elements and we're just going to place them differently, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them so I can have everything in just one file. You're going to see the background has a little lock. You can turn that off just in case you want to move it or whatever. I'm going to press Shift. I selected the top one, hold Shift, click the bottom one, and I'm going to press Control G to group them, or you can click on the folder here. That also works. I'm going to call this one starting technically, if you want to export this, you can go ahead and just click File, Export as PNG, click Save, press Save, and you're good. There you go. It's downloaded. It's right there. It works. 1080p, all good. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this folder. And the way I'm gonna duplicate it is holding Alt on my keyboard, clicking and dragging up. And now I have another one. I can turn off the first one. And now I can move around the top one. I can even double click on the name to rename it. And this is gonna be intermission. For starters, we don't need the starting soon text because we're not gonna put, you could put a text that says intermission, but you don't want that. Our labels, which we should have grouped up. I'm gonna click at the bottom. I'm gonna try to select all the elements there. Press V to access the move tool. And I'm gonna go up to shape 1, which I'm guessing is the star. Wait, no. So here I'm realizing I messed up because my labels and my socials are super mixed up. So I'm just gonna drag those. Okay, now I can select all the labels. I can group them and I can move them a little bit. Press V for move tool. I'm just gonna put them on this side. The socials, as we can see, the names are here. Drag this up, select all of those. I can also move them, except I want those to be up here. Let's say somewhere here. I actually want them to be smaller. Control-T to transform. Remember, you can always change the name if you feel that white on the text is a little too much, which I'm feeling like it is, but I'm trying to go faster. Then you can press Enter. And we're gonna go to our rectangle tool. I remember we changed that into custom shape. We're gonna click, hold, see rectangle. We're actually gonna change the radius here. I'm gonna go for 30 this time. And I'm gonna create what's gonna be for my camera, for my intermission screen. But if you want to use this as your gaming scene, basically you wanna put the gameplay in the middle and then your camera's gonna be top right. You can click once and now you can type 1080p, basically to have the perfect aspect ratio of your camera. Click OK. Control-Alt-T, and we're gonna scale it and it's gonna automatically maintain the proportions for now. And we're just gonna place it until we feel we are satisfied. Remember that we're gonna have our chat on the right side. We'll leave some space and also our camera. Okay, that's nice. Press Enter. Now we're gonna create a space for our camera. This one can be a little bit square. Again, if this is like you're just chatting scene, then you're gonna have your full screen camera. You can put the game on the top right. It doesn't matter if the aspect ratio is perfect. All right, trying to eyeball the distance between things. This seems pretty good. With the move tool, I'm actually gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna hold Alt, click, drag, hold Shift to maintain the axis. Nice, Control-Alt-T to transform. And I'm gonna start dragging this down, but as you can see, it's scaling everything. I'm gonna hold Shift, and now it's gonna stretch it a little bit. And here you can decide if you want your chat to go all the way down or if you want to leave some space for the bottom part to have like a logo or something. Or a sponsor maybe, huh? You guys are sponsored out there. What you can do to make sure that you have the right segment here, you can click on the ruler, drag down. It's going to create a guide. And as you can see, I eyeballed it perfectly somehow. Okay, pretty impressed. So that's going to be where our chat is going to be. And this is the only thing that we really need to customize. The other one is going to be cut out. The other ones are going to be cut out. I'm going to press Enter. I'm going to rename them. So this is the chat. This is top right, main. For the chat, you can go ahead and select it and then just change the blending mode. Let me go soft light, for example. And as you can see, all it does, it brightens whatever is behind it. But keep in mind that if your text is going to be white, then you need a pretty dark background, right? It's going to be struggling with the light colors. If your chat's going to be black, then you need a bright background. But if you're not too concerned and it's just for aesthetic, you can keep it just like that. You can lower the opacity maybe a little bit, but as long as it's kind of visible, just like this, pretty good. And then from there, we're going to hold Control and click on the icons of those shapes so that we can cut them off of the whole thing, right? I'm going to hold Control here, click on the icon of the top right, because that's going to be cut out. Hold Shift to add an additional selection, if you will. And then click on the main one. Okay. Now I can release. They're selected. Turn them off. Well, not the chat. Click on the intermission folder. And then create a mask. It did the opposite of what we wanted. So we're going to press Control-I to invert the mask, remember? Very first thing we did is Control-I, and boom, just like that, you have an intermission screen. I would suggest you take your time to actually place things so that they look good, just like that, or kind of centered. Labels, we want that slightly centered here. And just like that, we have a very simple way of creating two separate screens. Just one file. You can file, export as PNG to save it, add it in OBS Studio or whatever software you're using to broadcast as an image, because those are PNG images, and then place your camera or your gameplay behind them. You can put your chat on top of them, your labels on top of them. Again, we could have spent a lot of time decorating and making it look a little bit better with more details, but hey, we just slapped 2 images together. We did a quick little effect with the text, and I'm gonna make this available to you for free. Check out the link in the description. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on Photopea as a template. So when you go to photopea.com, you're gonna see PSD templates on the right here. Go to the search bar right there and just type my name. I haven't posted it yet, so it's not gonna show up, but look at that. You're also gonna have access to all of that you can use and modify and export as you wish, right? So when you get to it, you're gonna see this most likely, right? And the first thing you're gonna do is go to the starting, expand, find the text, double click, and let's say you wanna make a be right back screen. Probably put it in all caps, be right back. Just like that, and now you export and you just made a be right back screen. Double click on the T, change the text, and it's yours. And it's really that simple. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you're gonna enjoy this one, where we actually take the time to create all of the overlays that you need for a Twitch channel, but also panels and offline images and everything. It's basically a guide on how to revamp your whole Twitch channel, or even how to make a package of stream graphics for someone else. Check it out, then go out there, make me proud, get level, out.